Well, welcome to the team call, everyone. Team Fit and Natural, Team Spark. We are here on December 9th, and tonight's topic is Success Partners. But before we get into that, we just want to go through a few announcements. The most important announcement is that tonight is the deadline for the December 14th challenge group starting next week. So if you have not signed up in the team group, or if you have coaches who haven't signed up, or if you have challengers that you need to convert to coaches, or if you need to finish conversations with people that you've been talking to, now is the time to get that done. And of course, if you have any latecomers, like any challengers that suddenly want in the next few days, definitely talk to me or Jen, because if they're buying the challenge pack and have access to BOD right away, they will be able to get started as long as everything's organized and we have a place for them in the challenge groups, which we should. So definitely talk to us about that. We will have another bonus challenge group, kind of like the Holiday Hustle group that's going on right now. That will start January 4th. And we're promoting that mostly as a hammer and chisel group, but it will probably wind up being a multi-program group. So if you have someone who wants to get started at that time frame, we can get them into that group. But it would be a great group to really push for hammer and chisel. And then the challenge group after that will be back to our normal schedule of the third Monday of every month. So then it will be January 18th. For the January challenge group. For Hammer and Chisel, it seems like it's been a very successful launch so far. That launched this week. I hope everyone either ordered their copy or received their copy. Mine is supposed to be delivered today, but I haven't gotten it yet. So we'll see what end of day for FedEx means, but I think it may be out at my mailbox, so I'm very excited. But of course, when there's a new program that comes out, the best way to take advantage of a launch is to do it yourself and to be posting that and sharing your journey with the new program on social media, because there's a lot of people who, as exciting as a launch is for us, they may feel a bit wary about a new program. There's a test group, and the test group results are always great, but they may want to see, like, okay, what about the real people? What about the people I know? How is this program going to work for them? Which is why it's so important to share your journey. There are 2 challenge packs on sale, both for Hammer and Chisel. Make sure that you're aware that there are 2 different ones for the $160 sale price. The one is the usual kind of challenge pack, which comes with Shakeology HD, but the other one comes with 2 performance products from the Beachbody Performance line. I think it's Energize and Recover, right? Not Recharge. Recover. Yeah. So I think Energize and Recover, which is a really cool way, especially if you have any challengers converting to coaches and they want to take advantage of grabbing a challenge pack during their coach enrollment. That's a cool thing for them because they're already probably on Shakeology HD. It's another thing for them to experience with Beachbody. So that's something that you want to talk to your potential coaches about as well. For January, also, we have Super Saturday, the weekend of January 9th. So the Westchester Market Council, which Jen is on, that big event is Sunday, January 10th. So if you're anywhere in that area, we hope you're at that. And if you're not, then all of the other Super Saturdays pretty much will be happening on Saturday the 9th. I personally will be in Boston. I'm very excited to go to that one with a few members of my team. So make sure you check to find the location nearest you.
And if I could just hop in for 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say Kristen's on the call, and Kristen's going to be one of the guest speakers at our Super Sunday in Westchester. So she has an awesome story, so come hear it.
That's awesome.
Buy your tickets.
It's so empowering to speak at Super Saturday. Jen and I have both experienced it, and it goes such a long way for you, and it also helps you connect with so many people on the team at large, because they'll be coming up to you after and sharing what your story meant to them, and it's just wonderful all around. So you're gonna love it. Awesome. So also for January, we are going to move our What is Coaching 1-hour live event that we originally scheduled for December 15th, I believe, to January 12th. And it's just because with the holidays going on right now, people have so much so much that we don't want to throw one more thing at everybody with the holidays. So we're hoping that people are going to be really re-energized by the new year and really psyched, for new things and new journeys. And it will be a perfect time to make the most of that coaching opportunity event. So those are our announcements. And now we can get into the topic of Success Partners. Jen's going to start us off.
Okay, guys. So as our teams have grown, and we have really seen a lot of you start to develop nice businesses, the topic of Success Partners has come up a lot because I think you guys see Sharice and I working together so much, and you're kind of like, hey, do I need one of those? So my answer is yes, you need one of those. I'm going to just tell you very quickly how Sharice and I sort of came to be, because I think it is, you might be feeling the same way, and it might help you to realize why it's important for you. So way back when, 2 years ago, when Sharice and I were on Team Perseverance, well, we started Team Perseverance, but we started there. Team Perseverance was small. It was like us. It was like Team Fit and Natural and Team Spark. And there were like 4 or 5 diamonds. It was really, really small. So we had this diamonds group, and it was this really small group. And, we were kind of feeling like, okay, now what do we do? We made diamond, now what the heck do we do? And, Dave is the leader. So, he was definitely above us in a sense of he was further along on his journey than we were as far as developing his business. And, we were reading our personal development, but I just kept feeling very alone and very like I needed a sounding board. I needed someone to work with, even though this is my own business and I own it and I'm the boss of me. I needed, I never did this before. I never ran a business. This is all new to me. And I was like, we had this group and I kept posting that I feel like I need a partner. I need a mentor. I need a success partner. And, Dave was referring us back to reading our personal development, which I love and I found very helpful. And then Sharice started posting very similar things, that kind of sounds like a good idea. And then we started private messaging each other. And we were like, hey, let's become success partners. Let's work together and let's see, how we can build our teams, our individual teams while working together. And it worked. And the reason that kind of I feel like Sharice and I gravitated to each other is because we're very similar and we have very similar goals and very similar drive. And that's very key. So I feel like everybody needs a success partner because yes, you have a host of great ideas and yes, you are doing a good job with your business, but you can bring it to the next level when you have a success partner. I will be flat out honest with you. There is no way that I would get to where I am today without working with Sharice. It just would not have happened because we talk every day. Like we don't talk, like we message, we, bounce things off. We share resources. We divide and conquer. So it really makes, like I'm a working mom. A lot of you are working moms. Sharice is not a working mom, but she's got 2 little kids that she's running around town. She's a busy, busy mom. So when you have that partner to work with in that partnership, it can really, really take your business to the next level. And it can make your life a lot easier because you can really get a lot more accomplished with 2 brains working on something rather than just one. So so that's sort of an intro of definitely everybody should have one. And now, so the next step is going to be, okay, so who is my success partner? How do I find a success partner? And that's where Sharice is going to pick up.
Yeah, so what do you look for in a success partner? Well, the first thing is you want to find someone that you can get along with. And this does not mean that you have to become best friends or even really be friends. Jen and I have a wonderful friendship that has blossomed from this, and there's a good chance that will happen for you and your success partner, but it doesn't mean that it has to be part of it. Basically, you want someone that you could talk to on a daily basis that's not going to annoy you. You don't want to be annoyed dealing with someone. You want to feel like it's someone that you can talk to and interact with easily. So that's very important. The other thing is that you want to find someone that potentially thinks differently than you or has some different strengths. So one thing is that you want to first consider your own strengths and weaknesses in order to evaluate what will work from, someone else's standpoint. So for instance, if you're more of like a creative thinker and you're like an idea person, maybe you want someone that considers a strength to be that they get things done. So when they get an idea, they can run with it. If you are somebody that's good behind the scenes, but you don't love being the front man, maybe you want to find someone who feels like social media is really their cup of tea, and can really help you step forward into kind of the limelight of social media. So those are different things that you want to think about as far as your strengths and your weaknesses. Number 3 is you want to find someone who pushes you. You don't want someone who's just going to be massaging your ego all the time, because that is not going to help you in any way. You do want someone who's going to be positive. You don't want like a negative Nancy who's always just going to be complaining. So if someone seems to go towards the negative or complain a lot, you don't even want to get involved. But you don't want someone to just blow smoke up your butt. You want someone who's going to promise to tell things to you straight and someone who can hold you accountable. You want someone who can say to you, okay, you know what, this is getting a little bit dramatic. We just need to stop going in this direction. Let's move forward with some strategy. That you want someone who can tell you to focus. Number 4 is that you want to be going in the same direction, and not just the same direction, but you want someone who wants to move at the same pace as you. So if you ask like almost any working coach, what's your goal? If they're not diamond yet, they're probably going to say, I want to be a diamond or a higher coach. I mean, who's not going to say that? Why are you working as a coach if you don't have aspirations to move on up? But people have very different definitions of what kind of pace they want to work at and what is, a strong pace. So, you may have your eye on diamond in the next month, in the next 3 months. For someone else, they might just say, I want to be diamond by the end of 2016. That's going to be a way different pace than what you're working at. So right there and then that's not going to be a match. Number 5, you want someone who promises to ask you tough questions, but also to have your back. The thing is, like, Jen and I can say anything to each other, but at the same time, no matter what we have to say to each other, we can trust each other completely, and we know whatever we need in any situation, we have each other's back, and that's how you want to feel about your partner too. So I have a little kind of matchmaker sheet, and I'd like you to write these things down, because what would be most helpful is when you are considering someone for a success partner, or if you think you have found a success partner, you can use this as a little kind of getting to know you document, and that way you can kind of blame it on Jen and me. If things don't match up, you can just say like, this is the way we're supposed to go about this. So if something doesn't jive, you can say, well, Jen and Shree said this wouldn't jive if the answers didn't work out. So the first thing that you want to share, you want to spend a few minutes writing about is who you are. So what is your life like? What are your interests? And what is your brand? Like, how do you promote yourself in Beachbody? Who are you as a coach? You need to know that about each other to be able to help each other. So again, it's your life, your interests, and your brand. The second thing is you want to write, my personal and my business strengths include, and then fill those in there. And then my personal and business areas that I need to develop are, and you need to be honest about this. You got to let people know what they're, getting into, and you need to know if you can balance each other out. And then you want to share what your 3, 6, 9, and 12-month goals are. These can be fairly brief, but you know what? This is exactly the time when you should be doing this anyway. You need to know what your goals are for next year. If you want to make something of 2016, you need to know what your 3, 6, 9, and 12-month goals are. And the last thing is just what I'm looking for. Maybe someone is primarily looking for someone to share work with. Maybe someone is looking for accountability most of all. Maybe someone is just looking for, more like a support member because they're not getting something from their upline coach. So you want to be honest about that there. So Jen is going to move on to our next topic now.
So what I'm going to talk about is how does the partnership work? So it's very important that it is a partnership. This is not a situation where one person is the leader and one person is the follower. It really has to be a 50-50 relationship. And when you're filling out that form that Sharice just chatted about, it's really important that you think long and hard and decide if this is a good match. Because I know that people ask people all the time, hey, you want to be my success partner? They see a successful coach and they're like, hey, I want to work with you. You want to make sure that that person is going to be your partner. That's really, really key. So the first thing when Sharice and I became success partners, she opened my eyes to the world of Google Docs, which I cannot thank her enough about that. So I feel like Google Docs is a huge, huge key to working and collaborating together. We have docs in there of shared resources, video links that we share with our teams. We have a goals document. We have all sorts of shared documents, things that, like I found somewhere that she found somewhere. And that's what it's all about. It's about sharing and having this central database where if you're looking for something, oh, here it is. That's great. We put all the trainings in there so that way we have easy access to it together. We put, the coach guides, all of the stuff that we put in the file section of our team pages started in a Google Doc. So that is a great way for two people who live far away from each other to work together on the same document, even at the same time, and really create a lot of really great resources for your team. So that's a great way for you to work together. The other thing is you need to have, if not daily, but every other day, you need to have conversations about, what is your goal for the week? What is your main focus this week? And how are you going to accomplish that? Not just like, oh, great, let's, I want to hit diamond. That's great. All right, well, how are you going to do that? So like when Sharice and I were shooting for a summit and we wanted to hit 2-star, we were like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And we strategize. That's a great part of a partnership. You strategize. You have a goal and you break it down into small components. Like, how are we going to achieve this? And we did it. And we came up with a plan. We did a Push to Diamond series. We did all this extra training that if one of us had to do that alone, it would have been really challenging. But because we had each other to not only create the resources, but to push each other and encourage each other. And to say that's probably not the best idea. Why don't we try it this way? That is key, because sometimes you get so excited and so wrapped up in something, you're like, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then someone needs to bring you back to reality and say, that probably isn't the best way to do that. And that you have to be able to say it to that person. And that's a really good sign that if you can say that to your partner, that's a really good sign that you're a good fit for each other. Use them as a sounding board for your ideas. So, we'll come up with something, shoot it off each other. What do you think? What do you think? And then not just what do you think? Okay, when can we implement this? How do we implement this? Again, it's about strategizing the plan. And like Sharice mentioned before, one of you might be great with ideas and the other one might be better with implementation. So this is the perfect marriage then, because if someone's really great with ideas, but they can't always get it done, if you work together, you can really accomplish so much. You can role play. Like when we had to do our presentations and stuff, or team calls, we'll shoot ideas off of each other, how does this sound? Or should I say this? Or things like that. Because frankly, my husband doesn't want to hear it. So it's great and he doesn't understand it either. So it's better to have someone who truly understands, Beachbody World is a very unique place. And unless you're in it, you don't really get it. So, and I think you guys can all agree with that. So having somebody who's in it to bounce ideas off and be your sounding board is so, so helpful. And then also, you know, it's that therapist role too, to talk about each other's frustration, to talk each other off the ledge. Trust me, that is, as much as it's great and wonderful to, you know, push each other and work together and have all these successes, it's just as important to have that support network where you can feel vulnerable and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, or I don't think I did the right thing, or, you know, and that person can help you through it. And that's, you know, that's so incredibly valuable because they get it and they can be honest with you, which I know I really appreciate it with it. What else can you do with your partners? You can be in each other's groups. Like we do shared challenge groups sometimes, and that's really helpful. Cuts down the work. We bounce ideas off each other as far as what do you do in your challenge groups? What do I do in my challenge groups? And we've implemented different things that I would never have tried had Sharice not said, oh, hey, we did this and it worked great, you know? We do trainings together. You know, Sharice has run the trainings the past couple of months. I'm going to do it this month. So we're, you know, taking turns. So it takes sort of the workload off of you some months, and then you do your part when it's your turn, which is good. And just really, you know, we're stronger together. Two people working together for a common goal is far better than one person trying to get there. So, so that's definitely, those are a whole bunch of different ways that you can work together with your success partner.
And then to talk about how it directly benefits your business, a lot of it is kind of just going over what Jen said, but overall you work harder, faster, smarter, and more efficiently if you are working with a partner in the right way. And the way I think about having a success partner, it's kind of like a mini challenge group. It's like you're in a mini challenge group, but for coaching, because you're getting motivation, support, and accountability. And you're getting a sounding board, as Jen said, and it's also a really safe place to vent. You should not be venting to your upline all the time. You should certainly never be venting to your downline. So having a partner, if you have things that are going to bother you, which of course they will because it's life and you know nothing's perfect, things are going to stress you out at times. Your partner is who you talk to about that. That way you're not, you know, exploding on social media or poisoning the minds of your downline with, you know, one piece of your bad day that gets blown out of proportion, or complaining to your coach because that's not, you know, what your coach is there for. Your partner is someone that you can actually vent to. It helps you to let go, I think, to work with a partner. For me, I personally am a bit of a control freak, which, you know, Jen and the other coaches that I work with, kind of from a leadership standpoint, know really well. So for me to actually be able to trust Jen and kind of let her do half of the work that we do collectively together has been a big point of growth for me, to not just like try and do everything myself. And if you're someone who needs to step up more, you know, if you're kind of the opposite, then this will push you to do so. It helps you to actively follow through on your ideas. Because the thing is, like when you have an idea and it's just you, right, you feel like, well, you know, I've been meaning to start that Facebook like page, or I've been meaning to play around with ads, or I've been meaning to explore Instagram, or I've been meaning to run a certain kind of campaign, or I've been meaning to talk about getting coaches on my team on social media, but you know, since no one's kind of holding me to a certain date, like, well, maybe I'll do it next month, or this month is really busy, I'll do it in the new year. And there's always going to be something like that. But if you and your partner say, we are doing this in 2 weeks, or we are doing this on the 15th, or we're doing this on the 1st, then you have to do it, you know, because you have someone that you told that you would do it. And that goes a really long way. And basically, overall, it takes things to the next level. Because you can't rely on your upline for everything. That was a big lesson for Jen and I, you know, when we became Diamond. You can't just keep using the same systems, somebody else's systems, somebody else's training, somebody else's ways. You have to take ownership for things at a certain point. And it's a lot less scary to take ownership and really actually take control of your business when you have somebody else to do it with and you're not flying solo. So that's really important. sharing the workload, which we've touched on a lot. You know, splitting responsibilities goes a long, long way. And maybe, you know, maybe you're not even an Emerald coach, or maybe you're an Emerald coach and you're thinking, well, what responsibilities do I have? You have a ton of responsibilities if you look at this as not a hobby, and if you look at this as a real business that you're trying to grow. So there are so many things that you could be doing if you were sharing the work. And overall, Jen and I have seen a tremendous difference in our business. And, you know, in some visible ways, you could see that, like with rank advancement and the growth of our teams. But the most important changes are really internal for Success Partners. It's personal growth that happens, and it's growth that happens within our team and our team culture, which is not always visible to everyone else. And the thing is, when someone else knows you and knows your business as well as they know your own, as well as they know their own, they're always going to be able to help you think faster. You know, two brains are going to be better than one. So if you do want a Success Partner and you don't have one, make sure that you've spoken to Jen or spoken to me, and we can help match you up with people. We can give you advice. We can, you know, try to pair you with somebody. We can tell you, you know, if you have a short list of who you're thinking about, who we think might be best. So please make sure to reach out, you know, in the coming weeks, because it would be really great to start 2016 off with a Success Partner. And we'd love to help you do this and, you know, find a way to make it work. So does anyone have any questions about anything about Success Partners or anything going on at all?
And if I could just say one more thing, just based on what you just said, and if you're thinking of someone, you know, it doesn't have to be someone from your specific team. It doesn't have to be like, if you're on Team Spark, it doesn't have to be from Team Spark. If you're on Team Fit Natural, it doesn't have to be from Fit Natural. We can help you network. I mean, Team Perseverance is a huge team. There are other teams. There's, you know, there's lots of people that you can work very well with. You do not have to be on the same team. I just want to throw that out there. We just happened to be on Team Perseverance together, and that's how Sharice and I met. So just want to throw that out there. Any questions or anything?
No questions. All right, well, thank you guys. And if you have coaches that you think would benefit from having a Success Partner, make sure they watch the recording of this call. All right, have a good night, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good night.
Bye.